So after setting up an account that is not in my name, with the information I have gotten about a personality or any character I am impersonating, I think is to get started. And what will I do? What is the next thing I'll do? Okay, the next thing I'll do is I'll have to catfish for victims, or you can call them fishing or bombing in Nigerian term. Okay, so there are some comments I would go about making in people's comment section, where people are gathered. I'll look for people just to where I'm not even invited. I'll just drop some. It could be anything, okay? It could be asking them just for friendship. It could be I am just telling them about a particular program. It could be I am, inviting them for a church service. It could be I am inviting them for prayers and all that. So basically, no character when it comes to impersonation is exempted. You could be impersonated, right? That is just it. So when you see someone in your comment section talking about a particular thing, all you need to do is to verify the information the person is saying, okay, before jumping into conclusion. That is really necessary. And thank God for Facebook and its Autobots. They are really doing a nice job, terminating accounts that are fraudulent. Okay, and when I'm talking about fraudulent accounts, I mean accounts that are set up, without already, when someone is impersonating, right? The person is not using his or her real name, but these accounts are used by, are created temporary. They use temp mail, temporal email to set up this account. So when Facebook find out, I mean the Autobot find out that these accounts are not legit, and what they do is they terminate these accounts. So that is just it. But if it happens to be in a place where the comments will still be in that place, though the accounts or the users may not have access to this account, but the comments or the words which they leave in your comment section is redirecting you now to another platform. That is where they might actually have effect, right? Though the account is not working, because someone might just stroll into your profile one day. It could be your friend, and then jump across the comments and then decide to give it a try. And these people troll anybody, right? They go about trolling with these services they claim to offer, right? So after setting up account, the next thing is to troll, and we've talked about that. And trolling means I could decide to be, anyone can do this, right? You could decide to write up anything, telling someone to be your friend. It can just be, can I, hey, hi there, can you be my friend? Or I am offering prayers, you're invited. Just anything at all. And then you contact this person in this platform. Now they are redirecting you now to another platform, because the scammer knows that the account he is probably using to do this work will be terminated. So now he's giving you an example, a way out. For it's not actually for you, okay? You are the victim, but for his self or himself or herself, whichever the victim is. And now when it comes to impersonation, it's like a mask. You never know who is behind it, okay? So you have to be careful and have watchful eyes. So after redirecting you to whatsoever service they are offering, what is the next thing they will do? Okay, the next thing they'll do is try getting close to you. And how is it done? By talking. Okay, now if, for example, the service they claim to offer entice you, or you are persuaded by their words, or whichsoever how you were contacted, and you fall for this type of scam, the next thing the scammer will do is get to know you. And how is that done? We talked about that, and we've talked about after starting, how to start, what next to do, and the next thing is getting to know you. The next thing is getting close to these persons. So that is just it, and it's by talking, talking. And now the subject of discussion could be different. So do not expect the same thing from me, okay? And in this video we'll be talking about format, chatting format in terms of impersonation, military dating, what I have found out and what I know it's trustworthy, okay? And then most of you, the first one is, hi there, how are you doing? I know, when it comes to communication, ask this simple question. Generally it's been done, but hi there, how are you doing? It's not just a question. Sometimes you might reply to this question, sometimes you may choose to ignore after accepting, or maybe you're busy, but a lot of things could be the problem, right? And remember I said, in these areas, challenges can be challenging, okay? Challenges can be challenging, okay? And then but trials persist. So if the scammer persist with different pattern, and probably you fall to this victim, there you go. And whatsoever you're doing, so do not just jump into conclusion and start talking to someone you just meet online, okay? I don't know how it's been done, if it's actually, but I don't know. But before you jump into conclusion and start talking to someone you just met on internet, I think you need to have watchful eyes, because chatting or getting to know someone, it's all about talking, and it's a simple process. Hello there, how are you? Or how are you doing? Where are you from? But in this step, there is what we call format. Its format is a systematic message that is sent to victims in order to get information. It's like a communication, okay? So the first step is, hi there, how are you doing? And you may decide to give your reply. Okay, it's a normal word. I believe you've heard it millions times. I mean, even in your family, your business space, your marriage, your relationship, you use this word, to find out how the person you're talking to, is doing, right? So that's how are you doing is generally everyone with cell phone and has any social account knows this word. So this is not the first time you're coming across this word. But when it comes to getting information, it is systematic, right? The impersonator wants to get something from you, so to him or her, this information are very vital. This word, to you, it might just seems common, right? But it's systematic. And I'll read the next one. Well, now he or she will be the first person to ask you, or you may be the first person to ask, hi there, how are you doing? Whichever way, if you are the first person to start the communication, he will also reply you and then take the communication from you. He will be the one asking you question, and it's like communication. So why he asks you question and you reply, he will also tell you about his own replies as well. And it's kind of copy and paste, right? Because it's lengthy, and remember, it's format a systematic way of communication. Okay, so the next thing is okay, and you may decide to ask, so how are you doing? He or she may decide to say, well, I'm good, I'm fine, thank you, blah blah blah. And the next question he will ask, well, dash, I am this person, the person he or she may be impersonating. And when we're talking about impersonation is like a mask. You never know the person who is wearing that mask, okay? So he might decide to call the name of the impersonator, even your president, your medical doctor, your favorite character in movie, your favorite actor, your favorite artist, you name them, even high personalities as well, profile and personalities as well. So the next thing is well, I'm Mr. This, but you can call me this. what may I call you, or what can I call you, or what name can I call you, irrespective of how the question comes. And then giving that introduction now, you may feel he has, taken the bold step or the first step now to introduce himself or herself, and it's left for you now to introduce your own self, and then you go on give the person. But what you're actually doing is giving out information without you knowing. But does this information actually hurt you in any way, to tell person about your name and all that? But it's for retentive memory, right? Because this victim, if you're important or interested, they will keep this information for future use. Okay. And the next question will be, where are you from and where you're currently living? Where are you from and where you're currently living? You could see that now the person knows your name and he's trying to know where you're from and where you're currently living. And what more could he? Let's find out. The next question is, so are you happily married with kids? I know most of us would not like to be talking to people that are married or engaged, but you might come to think of this. If someone is happily married with kids, now it's kind of different and off the subject, right? And irrespective of what you want to think, because with that question now, you would not suspect. There is nothing suspicious in this way of communication, but the purpose of all this communication is to get information from you, information that will be retainable for future use if possible. Okay. So now with the kids, let's read. You might decide to say, well, I'm single or I'm married. I am happily married. I am divorced. I am a widower or a widow, and whichever your information may be to that question. And okay, now when you've given this information, it depends if the impersonator or the scammer is seeking. It depends on the interest of victim he is seeking. If he is seeking for married women, then you have it. If he is seeking for widows, then you have it. If he is seeking for married men, there you have it. If he is seeking for single ladies or single men, there you have it. It all depends on the information the person is seeking. And here it says, if her husband has died or if her husband is late, and what is the next thing? So if you say, okay, I am a widow, I lost my husband in this, and it's been this years, and that's blah 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 blah, whichever information or your whichever case your story may be. And now this is the reply the scammer may give you. I understand what you mean, but I strongly believe that no matter the mutual understanding you have with someone, we don't deserve to lose them. You could see that irrespective of the information, irrespective of the relationship you have with this person, you don't deserve to lose them, right? It could be your husband, your your fiance, it could be your son, it could be anyone important to you, mutual, like someone you have mutual feelings and understanding relationship with. It could comes in different way, you tell me. Okay. So but irrespective of anything, the person now is telling you that he believes that you don't deserve to lose them. But in a world of caring, where no one actually cares and asks this question, and then you're having these replies from strangers, someone you just met online, you kind of feel touched and moved that, wow, this person is actually caring. But no, that is not the answer. These are all script. Should I use the word script? Okay. And so I am sorry for your losses. I know it is painful to lose someone you love so much. Okay. Remember, this is just format, a systematic way of talking or chatting with a client. You can find it in the description below of this video. Okay, the scammer now will still continue. Says his reply to that question, if you are happily married with kids, okay, he will say that, well, I have been divorced for years now and I have 3 kids, but 2 of my kids ran away with my ex-wife after my divorce. Right now I am left with just one son whom I love and cherish so much. His name is Dash. I really don't like talking about it because anytime I do, it's hot, and then you go on and say, okay, please, I am sorry, please, no, 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 don't talk about it, I'm sorry, it reminds you of the past. But they say the respect is reciprocal. Since he has reciprocated feelings or affection for you, during the time when he learned of your loss, so you do the same. You're actually humans, right? Humans reciprocate feelings. Okay, so but he will continue. Right now my son at Dash, his name, the meaning of Dash I am always using is name is not specifically here. Okay, the scammer might go by any names, right? Any names. So my son Dash attends a military boarding school, so I always email him through his teacher's phone. So you could see the barrier. Now you'll be wondering, is he actually a child? Now you may be prompt to ask, so how old is your kid? That is another step, okay, for another video. And if you're still touched, you may ask, why? So why were you divorced? What is actually the cause of your divorce? And then he will go on to tell you this script. My ex-wife was loving, okay, but she turned into something else after the marriage. Okay, after the marriage, all she wanted was money, and I never hesitated in providing the things she needed. You could imagine if you were actually a male in a relationship and your wife or your partner, was actually providing, but and then all of a sudden you are having problems in your relationship. I think that is actually happening to me. And your partner starts giving you this, words that, all this relationship is, it's all about money, you don't work. Why? Whereas, in her mind is you, the male, you're supposed to be providing. So now in this script, it's actually the other way around, that you are the one providing, but all your partner ever wanted was money, 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 and you never hesitated to give her money. Then we'll continue. She cheated twice with different men when I was on deployment and was never sorry for her behavior. I had no other option or choice than to divorce her and move on with life. So that is just it. There are better days ahead, and the struggles we are into today gives us the strength we need tomorrow. So that is just it for the script today, and I hope you've learned something around this video. I might continue the scripts in the next video if I am opportune, as it is bulk in number. Thank you guys, and tell me what you learned from this video.